What's up? Yes, everybody, my name is Johnny Dobb, and I'm very excited to present to you the first episode of a new YouTube channel that I've started called Visions in Tokyo. Since moving to Japan, I've gotten really into street photography, and I decided that I was going to set up a YouTube channel to share my passion for photography, particularly street photography, and also show some of the great things that Tokyo has to offer. So who is this channel for? Well, if you are into street photography, if you're into Tokyo and Japanese culture, or if you're just into big, hairy Mancunians, then yeah, I mean, we've got one of them, so hopefully you'll enjoy that as well. First and foremost, I know it's like the cliched thing, but if you could do me a solid, hit that subscribe button, the bell notification, all that stuff. You know, I never thought I'd hear myself saying that, but you know, hit the tings, yeah. As for today, I'll let you know what I'm going to be doing. The plan is to go out to Shinjuku, and today I'm going to be shooting with the Fujifilm XPro 3. This is a great camera for shooting street. I don't know if you're familiar with this. It's kind of based on an old rangefinder style, so you have the optical viewfinder, but it also has an electronic viewfinder that can pop up, so you can kind of look through the lens if you need to. I quite like using the optical viewfinder because you get the frame lines, so you can kind of compose your shot, and also you can kind of see outside your shot, so you can see as people are kind of coming into frame. One of the other things I like about shooting with this camera in particular is one of the more polarizing functions that it has, and it's the much talked about rear LCD display, or lack thereof as you look at it. There is an LCD display, it just pops down like this, but for a lot of people, they were not happy with how that functions. They like to see it. I mean, me personally, I quite like it because not having it there kind of keeps your attention focused on the street, and you know, I think you can spend, having used other cameras in the past learning, I definitely spend too much time fiddling around in menus and things, so the idea is to, with this camera, is to kind of get away from that and just focus on what's going on around me. And one of the really great functions of having it with the flip down thing is for, if you want to shoot from the hip, you can just flip it down, get your low shots. It's really quick, and then back up, it's good to go. And the other thing I'm going to be shooting with is the 23mm f2 Fuji lens. This is a great little lens, very fast autofocus. It's weather sealed, lightweight. I mean, the whole setup is very lightweight, so really good for street. You don't want to be carrying around like big bags of camera gear and things like that. I try and keep it to one lens, one camera really when I'm going. Yeah, like I say, cut out the distractions and just kind of focus on what's around. And finally, I'm going to be filming with the GoPro. Again, I'm trying to keep my setup today as small and low profile as possible. So I have this little connection that will connect it to the top of the camera like this. So effectively you guys can see what I'm shooting and filming, and hopefully we can kind of enjoy the process together. If I need to shoot, I can be shooting, and if I need to say something, just whip it round, you know, speak to you guys, say something, quickly see something I don't want to miss, bam, flick it back round, you know, you're not missing anything, back round at me, blah blah blah, something, oh, pigeon, bam bam bam, you know what I mean, you get the idea. Kind of, it's all about being alert, present at all times, like a ninja or something like that. Ninja with a camera though, instead of a sword. With all that said, I'm going to quit the yapping, and yeah, let's go out and take some photos. It's actually pretty cool having this GoPro attached on the top, because I kind of look like a tourist, so I guess I can probably get away with a bit more You know, I think it's the same everywhere, all over the world. You know, people can get a little bit uncomfortable when you taking street photos of them, and even for me as a street photographer, it's quite uncomfortable. But it's just one of these things you learn to deal with. Hold up a sec. So this is the west side of the station, which is, yeah, I quite like coming here. Over there is a load of really good camera stores, like Map Camera, Yodobashi Camera. They sell the new stuff, and then there's loads of small independent ones like Yellow Camera, Box Camera, where you can just find tons and tons and tons of like decent priced vintage gear, vintage lenses, generally well looked after. So it's a cool place to come, you know, camera shopping and accessory shopping when I've got some money. Not at the moment, because nobody's got any money. But you know, go COVID. Anyway, on with the mission. Look at this guy. Unfortunately, it's a bit overcast today, which isn't my preferred shooting conditions. I like it to be quite sunny, so I like to shoot like high contrast black and white mainly. I shoot colour as well, but high contrast black and white is like my favourite, and you just obviously you don't get that on a day like today. I mean, you look, people have barely got a shadow, so it's not ideal. So this area here is a very famous spot in Shinjuku. It's the Yokocho. Very well photographed as well, as you can see. Another photographer right here. Probably taking a photo of this really interesting chap. So yeah, I mean, most people will have seen photos of this street. All these are like little restaurants. Nice. I mean, some people are very friendly. They don't mind having their photo taken, you know. So there's not so much. At the moment I'm shooting with an Acros film simulation. I don't always use, like, Fuji does really good JPEGs, but I like to shoot with that simulation on, so I can kind of visualize kind of what I'm getting, and then often what I'll do is then edit it in a Capture One, and then I use that as a kind of base of like, yeah, I like this vibe, but then I edit the raw files in Capture One, and then it gives me options to, you know, if I want to change it, if I want it in colour, you know, I'm not limited. So, a bit of nugget of information for you there. This guy in front of the map here kind of looks quite interesting, but I have to get in quite close. There's also all these awesome alleyways. Now look at this. Don't want to step on the rats though, but let's see if we can't get a nice little setting down here. Oh, it stinks of piss. I like to say the rat. Oh, I'm getting out of here. I don't know if you caught that on camera, I definitely heard a squeak of a rat then. But yeah, there's Godzilla watching over Shinjuku. In case any monsters want to come and try and knock down some buildings, he's always ready for a fight. Anyway, I think I've had my fill of that location. On we go. So we're entering into Kabukicho, which is the red light district. Brass houses, pure brass houses. Look at this guy, rude boy. I was chilling there one time and some dude comes up to me and starts telling me, he's like some old drunk guy, starts telling me how like he runs like 30 bars and has 500 girls and did I want a girl and blah blah blah. And I was just like, nah mate, not interested. This is crazy how quiet this is for compared to normal, you know. Yeah, in this area in particular, need to be a little careful, you know. There's certain characters that they don't want their photo taken for obvious reasons. Certain gang affiliations that are very prominent in Japan. They run this area. Yakuza run this area. They run all the girls' bars and the pachinko bars and things like that. Yeah, this little spot. Yeah, it sounds like I like alleyways more than I actually do. Nah, too dark. I like the character that they have. I could probably do a series just on alleyways in Tokyo. Maybe I will one day. Well, I don't know if I can handle the rats. We'll see. I don't know. But yo, check this. So these are like what I was saying, these little corrugated bars. And I think essentially, like back in the day, people used to get charged people used to get charged per square foot. So you'd pay sort of building rates per square foot. So they built these tiny little shacks like this, and so they only pay the business rates. And these, the front bit here, often people may have lived behind. Nice bit of street out here. But I've been to a few of these. It looks like there's more. No. Sometimes in the winter they put these drapes up here to keep people warm. But yeah, I've had a few check the toilets out. Absolutely rags. Rat city. But you know what? You'll have more fun here than you will in a lot of places. Bar vanilla bitch. But yeah, I've had some hilarious nights out here. Just on the piss. Ended up going back with like to next bars with like salarymen and just, you know, you go into one bar, sit about 4 people, I'll get about 8 in there, then you'll have a load of new best friends and you'll bugger off somewhere else after. Oh, it's a buzz. You know, one thing that a lot of people who've never been to Tokyo don't realise is actually how run down it is in Japan as a whole. You know, people see the images of the skyscrapers and the technology, but it's not all like that. And unfortunately, you know, they're knocking all this stuff down, which is very sad, because these buildings have charm. You know, they have a story, they have a history, and once it's gone, it's gone. I mean, just look at that. Look at it. Now, this is an interesting place that everybody who comes to Tokyo should know about, or Japan in general. If you eat meat, my G, Yama-chan, best chicken wings ever. Bold statement. I stand by it. And you get like buckets of 50. Like, I've been there with like 2 people and I ordered a bucket of 50 and they just didn't believe us. They thought we were wrong. They're literally like, nah, sorry, there's no way you can eat 50 between you. I'm like, bloody can. And one time they sent like 3 different people back to check that we placed the right order. My challenge, if you're ever in Yama-chan I've not done it yet, but maybe I will do one day. But get 50 wings and see if you can slam them in one. That's the Yamachan chicken wing challenge, and if you do that, you win my greatest admiration and respect. So it looks like it might start raining. Obviously I'm very underprepared for the rain. Being from Manchester, you'd think we'd have learned by now, but we haven't. Like, you never see people with umbrellas in Manchester. Like, you see them with umbrellas in Tokyo when it's sunny, raining, snowing. It doesn't really matter, like, umbrellas are out. I think that's like the #1 crime in all of Japan, is umbrella theft. People go into like a convenience shop, put their umbrella down, come back out, someone's nicked it. Check that out, trains and that. So I've shot a few times in this location, and it's definitely one. Oh, look at all this is new. So they're building all this for the Olympics. But yeah, I've shot a few times there. And yeah, I've got some really interesting shots from around here. But it tends to definitely work more when there's nice bright lights. And, you know, you get that real high contrast that I like shooting. Basically the back of, well, one of the other sides of Shinjuku Station. Basically all we've really done is like a big loop. The Shinjuku Station's kind of in the middle, and we've kind of done a big loop around it, and we're sort of coming back to where we started. You see, it's times like this that it would be nice to have a slightly longer focal range, because you know, with the sort of lens compression you get sort of I've got a 50 to 140, which on the Fuji lens is a 70 to 200 equivalent or thereabouts, and you get that nice background compression, and things like that, like down the straight lines, look brilliant because it just sort of compresses the background, it brings the background closer. It's you know, shooting in between buildings looks great, flattens it out, it looks really nice. It's like when you see those shots of the moon and it's massive, and then you get your camera and you think, why can't I do that? I need a long lens. Again, I was saying before, but you know, like, street photography is quite uncomfortable. You know, you're kind of invading people's personal space, and especially today when everybody has a camera and they have a social media platform and all this kind of stuff, and a lot of people work very hard to curate their online image, you know. Too slow for him. Yeah, to curate their online image and persona. You know, they retouch their images, and you know, they spend a lot of time and energy trying to present themselves in a particular way. And then someone like me comes along with a camera and just goes BAM! And catches them picking their nose on crossing the road or whatever, you know. Oh. Was he putting? Yeah, he was filling up his sake. Little alky. But yeah, so someone like me comes along with the camera and, you know, sticks it in their face, and it's as uncomfortable for them as it is for me. I don't particularly like doing it. It's something that you have to kind of learn to do, but then there's levels to it. I don't know if anyone, well, a lot of you probably are familiar with the work of someone like Bruce Gilden, who creates some of the most amazing street art photography, characters in the street. But I mean, he'll like pop out in front of them with a flash, and like, you know, 6 inches from the face, like, you know. And if he say anything, he's just like, "I'm what?" You know, it's a free country, street, blah blah blah. I like to think that I'm a bit more reserved. I don't like to really, you know, get in people's face. Nah, daijoubu. That guy just said like, "What?" But I just said, "Nothing, mate." I was like, "It's okay, it's okay." But yeah, if you see someone like Bruce Gilden, like, he gets really in people's faces, and but he gets amazing shots as a result of it. I don't think I have the right temperament to do that. You know, I'm a bit more of a relaxed guy. I don't really like upsetting people, so you know, it's not my vibe. At the other end of the spectrum, you have people who, again, off the top of my head I can't really think of anyone, but you know, they will almost go the opposite end and like look for situations, and like the subjects will just be a tiny part of the bigger picture. You often don't really get to see their faces. You know, they're just the shapes, and again, it's kind of a very unobtrusive way of taking photos. Often they don't even know they've been photographed, and again, you get amazing results. I think I'm kind of currently like sitting somewhere in the middle of those two methods, but again, you know, I'm still relatively new to this. I've only really been shooting a couple of years, and sort of progressively starting to do it more and more. But yeah, I'm sort of somewhere in the middle of the two, trying to figure out my own style, really. That was a lot of fun, walking around taking photos in Shinjuku. This is basically the end of episode 1 of Visions in Tokyo with me, Johnny Dub. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the sights, some of the stories of, you know, things that have happened, or, you know, things that I like and whatever. I don't know. It's all an experiment for me. So. But yeah, and I hope you liked some of the photography. I have a website, which is www.johnnydub.net, Jonny, there's no H. That's basically an ongoing photography journal, essentially, of my time in Tokyo, all street photography. But yeah, I'll be posting some images on there. Feel free to check that out. And yeah, if you had any thoughts or comments, obviously drop them in the comments. You know, I'd love to hear feedback of what you liked, what you didn't like. Like I said, this is my first video that I've ever made, so well, for YouTube anyway. So hopefully it's good and you want to see more. If you do want to see more, then holler at your boy.